Namaste viewers, welcome to Astrology. We are into the series of Gemini Ascendant, and till that we have reached to 5th house by seeing that Sun is doubleted in the Gemini Ascendant in the 5th house in the Libra sign. Now moving ahead, Sun in the 6th house. Now the 6th house, we all know, is a house of a disease, is a house of enemies, it's a house of litigation, job, servants, conspiracy, all these things comes. Maternal uncles. See here the four item each divided to Mars and Saturn. But first of all, we have to see how it's comfortable in this house. So Sun being seated in the 6th house is the house of a Scorpio. Scorpio is a sign of Mars, and Mars already have a very good relationship with the Sun. So Sun being seated in his friendly house. So first good support he is getting is that he is sitting in his best friend house. Okay, so Sun is very good in this house, being seated in the front. Now here the Karaka is also very powerful, being Mars only. The Saturn will not support, but at least Mars will support this. So outsidely the Sun is seated in the Mars sign. Mars is also a Karaka of this house, and Sun being from 1st house, it is seated 6th, so it is not giving good result. Even though he is comfortable, see, Sun is not a lot of a disease, is a lot of immunity and vitality system, is a Karaka for your own inner power, vitality, strength, immunity power, and the defensive power. So Sun being seated here 6 will not be so helpful to the 1st house, because from 1st house it is placed 6th. So Sun will not give good result in the as it is seated 6 from 1st house. It will give good result for the 10th house, because from 10th house the Sun is seated 9th. It is very good place for name, fame, recognition and father gain. From his own house, because it's a lot of a 3rd house, from own house also it is seated Kendra. So very good for 3rd house, short traveling, very good. They are enjoying a short traveling, friend, brother and sister, siblings. Their courage will be encouraged. These all things will helpful. But only thing is that the being Sun in 6th house, it says that the person carries all negativity through his parents. Because 6th house is a disease and it is a genetical disorder. So he is carrying the disease related to his forefather. Because if you consider the 10th house as a father, so it is 9th from it, that means something has been already construed or done by someone. So your genes is already carrying some disease. Whenever the Sun in 6th house, that means Sun in whichever house is there, it exposes that house. It makes the things in surface, bring into the surface. So what happened, that Sun being seated in this house, it will always expose one's disease. So person know which type of disease he will be going to face. It doesn't mean that he will advertise his disease, but that means that he know which type of which kind of a disease he will be going to face. So that's the Sun will going to give the genetic disorder or whatever the parents is facing, especially father, because Sun is a father. So whatever the deficiency is in the father, the same thing will be carried out to the Sun. So disease wise, this person will face the immunity, vitality and defensive power, and may be carrying some energy. Being it is seated in the friendly house, it will not harm, but being a Karak of the 1st house, it is seated not well, so it is a cause of a disease. Disease will increase because of the immunity system is down. Their own cell, their own hemoglobin or iron is weak. Due to that weak, they could not defend. It could not able to defend the body and able to face some problem. So that way it is very carefully to see that the person should be always having good things about the 6th house, but at least For disease he has to suffer. For enemies he will always control the enemies, because rogue then rin. Rin means a debt. So sun being seated here, he might be continuing his father debt, and maybe the debt is created by the father, now he is going to pay. Being its friendly house, he will be able to pay. Though sun in the 6th house, it is always been there that they have to done the past obligation. Whatever the debt is created by the father or the parents, then that has to be carried forward to their son, and their son will going to pay back them back. So that's also indication in this chart that person having some debt due to his family, and as per this he has to pay back all the debt. So for that also it is there will be debt, but he will be able to pay the debt. Enemies, he is creating enemies because of his ego. So if he reduce his ego, if he cooperate the others, then he will not going to face any problem. So one has to very careful. Sun in the 6th house, he might be creating enemies because of his own ego, own negligence. So one has to very careful about it and has to follow certain rules of the life. So friends, we have seen the enemy, we have seen the disease, we have seen the death. Then this is a house of a job. Now this Mars is having the 4 item, that is a disease, rogue, rin means a curse, means a death, shatru, enemies, and maternal relationship. The maternal relationship will be somewhat cardinal here, because the sun will shows that their maternal side is more powerful, name, fame and recognition, than their paternal side. So maternal side also, even though there are not so good person, but they will at least support. Being sun seated in the own sign, friendly sign, it will always support. So maternal uncle, so this is a rogue, means a disease, death, enemies, and maternal relationship. These all are carried by the Mars. Now we are entering into the Saturn item. The Saturn here governs. See, Mars is outside and inside. Both it is governing, being a lord of this house, as well as is also significant karaka of this house. But the other karaka, other significant of this house is Saturn. Now here the difference of opinion arose, because the Saturn is a lord of 8th house and 9th house, and Saturn is not so kind relation as it has with the Venus, but it is always helped the Mercury. So what happened that the Saturn being a karaka of this house and ascendant lord have a good friend, whereas in the events of a Mars item, the Mercury will not support or obstruct, because they are not good relation with each other. But here the Saturn will boost the result of a Mercury. So he will try to give good result of this karaka as the Saturn. But here the main obstacle is the outside seated planet is the Sun. So Sun here will not allow the Saturn item to flow smoothly. So even though they are in the job, because 6th house, the Saturn governs the job. Even though they are pursuing a job, they have ego and they will not listen their elders or their seniors, and because of this they might be facing some problem. So that Sun create ego to create the enemies, and that enemy might be a chance that their bosses, their seniors, their all colleagues also will not having a cordial relationship with them. So it will be that a person will not be having a good relationship. Being Saturn, see, job will be received, but maybe possible that he might be engaged in the government department and will not have a good relationship with their seniors or colleagues. So by job it will not give good result. Being a servants or maids, because servants and maids also seen from 6th house, nokar, we were called as a servant and maids. That karaka also is Saturn. So maybe it happened that the maids are so powerful that maid also or servant also sometimes make a pressure on the bosses. So if you are bosses, then you will be finding a person who is not listening you, and you have to do, you have occupy them, but still you have to work for them. So it is like that they have employees, they have a servant, but servant will never be cooperative. They are not cooperate, and that is why you have to always suffer. So even though you have a servants, but at the moment, at the time when you require their service, they are not available. So the Shatru means enemy. That's what I say. Job or servants are not getting good result. Now also litigation. See, Sun in the 6th house, I always advise that do the compromise. As being I am also practicing advocate, I always advise my client to do the settlement. Because in litigation it's never ending. One win, one lose. Who lose, who will go to appeal and higher court and higher court and higher court. Until Supreme Court, people have a ego to fight. These are the reasons that the Sun in the 6th house, due to ego, they sell themselves, but they will not let the enemies to go or to compromise or to do the arbitration or some mediation or the conciliation whereby it will be amicable settlement. But those who are having Sun in this house, I advise to settle the matter outside court so that they will not suffer long. And Sun here will give a good judgment from government, but takes years. And what you have lost is a time. Whatever you have lost is a time. So time is the essence of everything. So one should careful, because the litigation is in the Saturn and outsidely the placement is the Sun. So government may give you some grant or relief, but it will cause you so long time that you will be losing so many things thereby. So instead of going for the litigation, I advise them, those Sun is in the 6th house, to make a settlement. Even compromise also bring good luck, that at least whatever you are compromised, but you have saved your time. So Sun in the 6th house, don't place ego in front of your servant, in front of a court, litigation, in your job work, in your senior, dealing with the senior, where you will be losing. So it is better that if even though there is a litigation, one should settle it amicably outside the court and try to make not to involve in the such a kind of a litigation. Then he will be very good. And also the lastly the Saturn item, because Saturn also carry 4 items: job, secure job, servant, litigation and conspiracy. 6th house is a house of for the conspiracy. So he may be involved in the conspiracy, because Sun in the 6th house is always that they are surrounded by enemies, or they due to their nature makes so many enemies surrounding to him, and they all may try to pull you down or try to make leg pulling to you. So be careful, being all the litigation or opposition or also some kind of a conspiracy may go against you and you may suffer. So Saturn Dasha should not come for them who is having Sun in the 6th house. Otherwise Saturn become powerful. Job, they will face problem. With the 7 they face a problem. With litigation they face problem, and with this conspiracy also they are going to suffer them. So it is better that not to go for the litigation and settle the matter amicably or outside the court. So Saturn all item, job not satisfactory, servants not performing well, even though they are performing well, that's your feeling. Litigation, you will not win, you will win when the time has already gone, the craze will also gone, and the conspiracy may arise time to time on you, so you should be very careful. So all the item of Mars is secured by the Sun, and as well as the Lord is also Mars. So here if the Mars is placed good from this house, if it is placed from here 6, 8 and 12, then you will be never going to face such a kind of problem. If your Mars seated in 11th house, if your Mars seated in the Ascendant, if your Mars is seated in 5th house, then you will be not going to face any problem related to the 6th house, because Lord is also Mars, and 6th Karaka, 4 item, Rog, Ruin, Shatru and Mosal. Disease, death, enemies and maternal relation or maternal uncle. These all things will be getting good if your Mars position is good. If your Saturn position is good, these all things, job also good, servant also very helpful, and you'll win the litigation, and also no conspiracy. But Saturn is not favorable with the seated planet Sun, so Sun will never touch or allow anyone to give the result of that house. So that's important that from first house it is not good. From 10th house, being a father and name, fame, reputation, it is placed well. From his own house, from third house, it is placed very well. So accordingly, this house has a neutral effect of a Mars being a very positive side, and Saturn item is not so favorable time, favorable result. So here we have learned the Sun in the 6th house, in the Gemini Ascendant, in the Scorpio sign. In next lesson we are going to see Sun in 7th house, Sun in the 7th house in Sagittarius sign. What will it will give a result? So till that time, stay in my channel. Do subscribe if it's not subscribed. Do like my videos, and also do share my videos to others viewer. For consultation, you can write to me on the dmastrology1@gmail.com. For my updates, you can see my Facebook page DM Astrology, or my personal Facebook Dharmesh Mehta. So herewith I take a permission to leave, right? And in next lecture we'll again come back soon for discussing the further part. So hope viewers has liked this video. Thank you. Thank you very much.